Okay guys, on today's video we're gonna find out if the real 20-inch 58cc model number 5820F Dereal Pro chainsaw is the real deal or not. Let's unbox it and check it out. So let me explain why we bought this cheap saw, guys. We have a Rancher 450 Husqvarna that we bought 4 years ago when we were on the road doing disaster relief, and we've been using the hang out of that thing here at the ranch. And it's getting a little tired, but it's a great saw. Got a lot of life left in it, I think, to be honest. But sometimes we get stuck in a log or fell in a tree, and we might want to cut our way out. We don't have a second saw here at the ranch, so I figured, let's get a cheap backup. So I looked around and I found this one for under $120 compared to the $500 Rancher that we got, or whatever it was. It's hard to remember now, but anyway. So we go with this one. Saw that a couple people said they were doing pretty good and it didn't look that bad online. Pretty sure it's the Chinese made saw. They sold out of shipped out of California, but pretty sure it's Chinese. I'll give you some numbers on it. My Rancher, it's a 450 Rancher. It's got a 20-inch bar. This is a 20-inch bar on this Dereal 5820F Pro. Dereal Pro, I might say. It's a 20-inch bar. I think they're two different kinds. This may be a semi-chisel or a full chisel, I don't know. And the Rancher is a speed cut chain on it, which I don't really care for a whole lot. The Rancher is a 50-to-1 oil mixture. This is a 25-to-1, which I'm not really crazy about because I got to keep two different mixes of gas and be vigilant about it so I don't burn up a saw or foul out a plug. I think they weigh about the same. I was hoping this one's going to be a little lighter because I was really, honestly, as a backup, it's a cheap saw. I could leave it out at the sawmill. Wouldn't have to worry about growing legs and walking away, if you know what I mean. As bad as a $500 saw. And it would be lighter to work with, but to be honest with you, I think they're gonna weigh about the same, judging by this, unless there's a lot more in this box than I saw. So, but it's not real heavy. This is a 3 horsepower, where the Rancher's a 3.2 horsepower. Not a lot of difference there, even though the Rancher's 50.2 cc and this is a 58 cc. I think the reason this is more cc and putting out a little less horsepower is that oil ratio. There's a lot more oil in the gas, so it's not running as lean, it's not as hot of an explosion in there. But anyway, let's get to opening the box and see what we think about the quality. So far I can tell you they shipped it. There was another box. This was the inside box. It was an exterior box to protect it. So that was a plus. Kudos on them for the shipping. And this box actually looks pretty good. Okay. Packaging, got some nice corners in there to protect it during shipping. Not too bad, Dereal. Comes with a scabbard. The Husqvarna, I had to buy the scabbard separate. Now this scabbard's not as thick, but who cares? As long as it protects the chain. It's not gonna be our everyday saw anyway. The bar actually doesn't feel too bad. It probably is on par with the ones I buy for my Husqvarna when I buy an off-brand one. It's one you have to oil the nose of. Be honest with you, I don't like running those. So I don't seem to get as much life. Plus you got something else to carry around in the woods and stuff. But that's all right, we'll run it. My brother likes those. I don't really care for them. I run them both on my saw and get better life out of the ones that you don't have to deal with. Comes with the operator's manual. All right. This thing fancy. Comes with a fuel mixing bottle. And I ain't real sure what we need that for. If anything, it looks like it might be confusing. Don't really need that. 2 bottles to a gallon works for me. I'm assuming this is a tool kit. Yep. Got some Allen wrenches from the screws that hold it together. Got a little carb adjusting screwdriver, I imagine. Got the cutest little baby file we ever did see. Give that to my boy for his little toolbox. Let's see. Chain. Good package for it. Good heavy bag. Better than some of the ones I buy out of Australia. Let's see. Quality doesn't look too far off on that. For a cheap saw. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. The power head of the saw. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, when I assemble this thing, I'm gonna go through and tighten every screw and nut and bolt on it that I can. Just because. It says right here, made in China. So it is a Chinese saw, which I figured by the price point on it. But I'm gonna tighten every nut and bolt, because even American made stuff nowadays, the quality control is way off. But anyway, first impressions. The plastic's not too far off, because my Husqvarna has these quick latches right here to hold the cover on, and that plastic's so cheap, them things have been broke. So it's a little plasticky, a little cheap on the cheap side, but who expected any more? It's not bad though. I'm actually impressed. I expected worse. It's got an on-off switch and a choke. The choke pull looks, now that plastic looks sorry to be honest. It's got a trigger lock. Yep. That toggle switch, to be honest with you, I'm not too impressed with that, because I come from an electrical background. It just feels weak, but can't always go by that. But that's easy enough to replace. I'd rather be that than a little cheap plastic rocker switch, to be honest with you. Fuel cap and the oil cap, they screw in full turn. Overall, it's really not that bad. Let's put it together, tighten everything up, mix up some gas, and we'll go outside and check her out. Going through this machine tightening up the screws is not a bad idea, because I found that about half of them were loose enough that they needed tightening on. Alright guys, we're out here at the sawmill shed. I got my Husky 450 right here, and I have to say I believe they weigh the exact same thing. Well, that's the Husqvarna weighs a little bit more with it full of gas. It might not be quite full. So let's see how this Dereal does. If it cranks, I'm gonna let it run for a minute, warm up and kind of break in a little bit. I will say I mixed the oil and gas ratio a little heavy on the oil side for this first tank to break it in. And I also say the little mixing bottle came with it. I tried to use it, and let me tell you, throw that thing in the trash to start with. The Titanic was better at keeping water out than that thing is in keeping gas in. If you want to wet your hands and possibly your boots, go ahead and use it. If not, throw it in the trash. I tried. Anyway, let's see. Got my chaps on. Let me tell you, a little safety message. Don't do as I do. Do as you should. Because you won't always see me wearing these. But these do have some rips on them where the chains come off and slap my leg, and it saved me. I've never had it kick back on me really, but it saved me at least from having a nasty cut on me. So they're not a bad idea. And as far as putting this on the ground and cranking with my foot, I don't do that. I do it like the Forest Service teaches. I put it between my legs, hold it with this hand, and reach over. Got it on. Let's see. See if it'll run without the choke on. That thing is sitting idle for a minute to see how it goes. I was abusing on this thing off camera mainly because my camera didn't record. So hopefully we get this footage. So I've been cutting for a while and it's actually done good. Got some good shavings out of there. It done real good. And this is hardwood that's been down for 2 years. It's good and dry and hard to cut. So we can see if we can get it on camera. Again, guys, these chaps, look at there. Would have been a hole in my knee, would have been an ankle. Slapped through into the Kevlar. From cutting brush, even with a tight chain, you cut brush, these things will get loose quick on you and slap you sometimes. Cut 40 years without it happening. Got chaps, it's happened twice. Go figure that. God protected me. So, hearing protection, face protection's a good idea too. If you're felling trees, hard hat on your head, ain't a bad idea. Do as you should, not as I do. Anyway, I don't put my foot through it on the ground to crank it. Do it like the forestry service compromises, and I put it between my legs and crank. And I don't do a drop crank because that's not safe at all, but let's try it without choking it. Get you in there close. Alright, so day one first impressions is the real 20-inch chainsaw, the 5820F, the real deal. I'd say yes, it's the real deal for under $120 on eBay. I'd buy another one at this moment. Now, let's see what time will tell. It actually outcuts my Husqvarna. Is the Husqvarna a better chainsaw? Most likely it's going to hold up and outrun this saw for many, many more years, and it's already 4 years old. But time will tell. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this $120 saw is the real deal long term. Outcuts the Husqvarna. I think the Husqvarna is not its fault. It needs a different bar and chain system on it. That speed cut needs to go away. Drop it down to an 18-inch and put a full chisel chain on it and change the sprocket. I think it'll be a jam up saw and cut just as good as this one. This one, the chain is still sharp after cutting some dry hardwood, 2-year-old dry hardwood. Still sharp, still throwing good debris out of it. It's just, is it gonna take a drop or two falling off tractor? Probably not. It's probably gonna bust up and tear up, but I don't think it's gonna be as handy long term as the Husqvarna, but so far I'm impressed. The only con that I have on day one is my Husqvarna to tension the chain. It's got this handy dandy screw right here in the side. Easy to do, right? To tension the Dereal, you get aggravated and want to throw it across the log. It's got a hole there but it's not there. It's right here beside the bar. For whatever reason, I don't know. But you can't get that tool that comes with it in there. You need a screwdriver that's got a 20-inch shank on it to go down here from the end to do it just about, to be comfortable, and it's still gonna be clumsy. They need to change that. Hopefully they'll change that in design, and maybe I'll buy another one. I don't know. But so far I think it's gonna be a good addition to Lighted Path Ranch. I think it's, and either way it's good insurance for backup. Right now I think I'm gonna use the saw as my primary for a little bit and break it in and see how it works. Maybe I'll make another video later to show you how it works out. If you want to hear back later on how it works after a month, 2 months, 6 months, comment below and let me know. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you for watching another day's video. Hope you enjoyed it.
Please like, subscribe, and follow us on social media.
And as always, God gets glory for the good in our lives. Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. And if you have any questions about our faith or prayer requests, contact us by the email in the description. God bless.